Tell me that I can, I tell them why not. This is my calling, I'ma make it last. I'ma send them more than a conqueror.
Hey, what's up guys, L2 here. Just finished my cardio session and abs today, no heavy lifting. Saving my weak point day tomorrow for when I'm refed. What I wanted to do today was talk about some myths about competing. And just dispel a few things that not only people think about competing, but competitors also perpetuate about what it takes to compete. I read a great quote from one of the guys in the 3DMJ Facebook group, and it went something along the lines of, people like to act like they're martyrs for their craft. So people like to act like they've made a massive, massive sacrifice for what they're doing, you know, to kind of get on their high horse and make out that they're doing something really, really, you know, really, really special. Don't get me wrong, it does take dedication, it takes passion, it takes a love to do something like competing. But, one second, there's a huge myth that surrounds it. And competitors don't really help that myth. I think, in fact, they embrace it. So what I want to do is dispel that for you while I drive along to get my hair cut. So that's 1 week before my show, Miami Pro. And to be fair, this contest prep it's been intense. It has been very intense, but it hasn't hindered me in any way, shape or form as far as my everyday life goes. You know, some credit for that can be given to my coach Eric Helms from 3DMJ, who has kind of allowed me some freedom with my diet as long as I hit certain targets. I don't want to keep banging on about if it fits your macros, but it has really, really helped my contest prep this time round. Basically, last year when I contest prepped, I ate clean. So basically what I did it all on my own, did carb cycling. Went really well, I lost a ton of fat. Let me just switch these headphones off. Lost a ton of fat. But I kept it very, very low carb, and it was made easier by the fact that I didn't have anything going on at that time. I just got back from Thailand, so I had a lot of free time on my hands during that contest prep, so I could pretty much, you know, prepare my meals every single day. I didn't really have to prepare in bulk. I couldn't really go out and grab stuff as well if I was out and about. So I kind of hold myself into my house. I was kept indoors for most of it because my mentality was different last year. My mentality was the same as the guys and girls who like to think that they're sacrificing so much just to compete, which there is some form of sacrifice, don't get me wrong, because all the time, to gain something you have to lose something, you know. It's just the way of life, yin and yang. So yes, there's a bit of sacrifice, but people kind of tend to embrace that sacrifice, and that was me last year as well. You know, I was getting on my high horse. I remember on Facebook how freaking moody I was. I was just updating statuses after statuses about just righteous statuses, which, reading them back now, just seemed very judgmental and very just very over the top, very OTT. And that's the kind of mood you kind of get in. You kind of put yourself in that zone when you're prepping. And you're like, clean eating, man. Do this, do that. If you don't do this, you're not serious, and blah, 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 blah. But why bother? Why do that when you can take a more optimal route? And I feel like that's the route I'm taking this time around. So yeah, that's the myth. Is you don't necessarily have to give up life just to compete, just to be a competitor. You can do if you want. If you feel it gives you the extra edge, maybe go for it. But there are plenty of people who aren't giving up life, and plenty of people who are in fantastic shape. Plenty of pretty inspirational people, and you can see them all along YouTube as well. Actually, while you're here, I'll mention a few names. You've got guys like Mark Lobliner from Tiger Fitness. Awesome guy he seems to have about 72 hours in everybody else's 24-hour day. He seems to be doing so much with his time. He's a master of productivity. I think he's a marketing executive for a supplement company, Tiger Fitness. He's got a family. He's got a wife and kids. He films, and I don't know if he edits his own videos, but he seems to put out videos all the time. Same deal with Matt Ogus. Matt Ogus is another one. Chris Lovato. Those guys are always they're putting out tons of content, and you think to yourself, how have you got time to be competing for a show? Mark Lobliner also is competing for a show. He's contest prepping at the minute. Just look at those guys as examples, and they are getting shredded to the bone. They're getting in great shape, and they're still doing tons of stuff with their time, tons of stuff with their life. They're not sitting on a couch having power naps throughout the day to optimize their gains and stupid shit like that. Don't put it on a pedestal, guys. Just make sure it enhances your life and doesn't detract from your life. If it's starting to detract from your life, be honest with yourself, be aware that it's happening, and try and address that, because it's not healthy. We always tend to think about fuck is this guy doing? We always tend to think about physical health or physiological health. We don't tend to think about mental health as well, psychological health, which is just as important. And I think it's something that should be enhanced by going to the gym. To tie in with that, it's diet as well, social. Those things don't have to make you go insane when you're contest prepping. I went out for my birthday and I had a brilliant time. I didn't drink. All my boys got a table full of alcohol, and the great thing which I love about my boys, got much love for you guys, is they'll drink on their own, but they'll never ever pressure me into getting drunk or come on out to have a drink, come on, don't be such a bore. I don't get that at all with my boys. And in fact, I imagine if they saw me picking up a drink, they'd be like, what the fuck, what are you doing? You've got a show to prep for, so don't, what do you think you're doing? Now don't get me wrong, alcohol can be a part of contest prep. I wouldn't recommend it when you get deep into contest prep. But again, that's something that can be fitted into your macros, as long as all your other fibre targets, all your fibre, macro and micronutrient targets are hit. If they're met, yeah, you can. It's a bad use of carbs, in my opinion, a bad use of calories, because it's 7 calories per gram of alcohol, so it's almost like liquid fat. Fat's 9 calories per gram. The other macronutrients, protein and carbs, are 4. So yeah, you can have a drink or two when you're contest prepping. I personally don't feel the need to at this point. I haven't had a drink for about 6, 7, 8 months. I can't remember when I last had a drink, actually. And it hasn't detracted from my life. I hate this notion that, oh, I have to drink, I have to be sociable. Don't be antisocial, have a drink. I swear drinking is related to antisocial behaviour, isn't it? last I heard. It obviously depends on how you behave when you drink. You know, I haven't got anything against people who drink. You know, I just don't feel the need to, and I can still have a great time, and I did on my birthday. So yeah, contest prep does not mean hole yourself up into a cave and cut yourself off from the outside world. Socialize with your friends. That's healthy for the mind. That's healthy. That's a normal. It's one of the human needs to be, to be social. Diet. You don't have to be so stringent with your diet. Take a look at what I've been eating. I've made plenty of videos on it. And I've shown you results. You've seen my posing videos week to week. You've seen how much weight I've lost. I've lost almost 25 pounds of fat now. It's been crazy. And my strength has pretty much stayed the same. Only this week my endurance has really taken a hit. But who knows, it could be back next week. You know, this is a deload week, so usually the week after I'm usually refreshed. So my diet's been cool. My social life's been cool. What I've got to mention this time around is that I'm also working 10 hours a day, whereas I wasn't last year. So I'm pretty pleased with myself. I'm getting a lot done in my day considering what I've got going on. And my diet and my coach has really helped me with that. I don't feel like I'm trying to cram too much into my day. I feel, obviously I'm making the most of every hour, but it doesn't feel like a burden. It doesn't feel hard. It feels like I'm living life, man. And that's what contest prep should be about. It should be getting great results, having fun, inspiring people, and living your life, enhancing your life. It's not about it taking away. And if you keep putting yourself in that mentality, like what you're doing is, you're so hardcore that you're sacrificing stuff, I don't think that's mentally healthy. So guys, if you want to compete, do it and have tons and tons of fun with it. Do not let it take over your life. Let it enhance your life, because that's what it's supposed to do. And let it enhance other people's lives as well. Make sure you're motivating people and inspiring people, man, because that's what it's all about at the end of the day. Guys, take care. I'm here now. So until next time, take it easy.